Okay, guys, while I was super excited about Luffy splitting the sky back in chapter 1026, as it confirms quite a lot about Luffy and where he belongs in the story, I am even more excited about the development in chapter 1028, and I'm not even a huge Sanji fan. This is exciting to me because Sanji's new healing factor and iron skin is probably the single greatest power-up that he could have gotten at this point in the series. But before we get into that, if you don't know who I am, then you might be a bit confused as to exactly why this is such a big deal. To that, I say, you can call me JoJo, and this type of ability is the kind of stuff that I live for. Now, in the latest chapter of One Piece, it is revealed that Sanji has unlocked, or possibly awakened, an incredibly overpowered healing factor. And considering how absolutely overpowered it is, I think that it's fair to say that it would make a significant impact on any future battles that Sanji finds himself in the middle of. You see, when you really start looking for it, you'll soon see that Sanji has always been having to limit himself because his physical power output always exceeds his durability. We see this in quite a few fights. Like when he fought Gin, he kicked so hard that his body couldn't take it. When he fought Virgo, he fully countered Virgo's attack at the cost of fracturing his own leg. What the raid suit and now his iron skin do will give his body the defense it needs to allow him to unleash his full power. And when he does surpass those durability, his healing will now repair him and allow him to keep fighting. But all this said, I don't think this fully expresses how absolutely overpowered this ability is. Sure, it's very likely not on levels of Wolverine or Deadpool, but it's still incredibly powerful. To describe exactly how fast it is, let's do a bit of math and research. So, just taking a quick look at these panels, and we find that his leg was broken in at least 3 places. His upper leg, or his femur, his lower leg, the tibia and fibula, are broken once, and the lower leg are broken once as well. But his healing factor is able to set these bones back in place and heal them in only a few seconds. Likely 10 seconds at most. Well, that is, at least until the anime adapts it, and in that case it'll be near to 20 or 30 seconds. The thing is, all 3 of these types of breaks have a healing range between 3 and 6 months. Due to him breaking and healing all 3 at the same time, we will go with the 6 months healing for a normal person. Assuming 10 seconds of healing and comparing that to the 6 months it would take for a normal person to heal with medical treatment, we find that Sanji should be able to heal at least 1.577 million times faster than a normal person. It's also worth mentioning that this is assuming just the time for the bones to fuse together. It could actually take a couple years for the bones to fully heal, given various scenarios like not getting medical treatment, like Sanji's doing right now. Sanji being able to heal this fast means that it's going to be nearly impossible to deal lasting damage to him unless you take a limb. But that's not likely to happen given how he no-sailed a direct attack to his unprotected neck from Queen, and let's not forget that Queen has a bounty greater than all of the Sweet Commanders, a way bigger bounty than Doflamingo, or 13 times Dory and Bragi, 2 giants who moved in island-sized seeking halfway around the planet. Yes, I know bounties are not direct power levels, but many characters use their bounty to brag about their strength, and others even refer to it like it is a power level. Not to mention that Rayleigh, long out of his prime, was still considered 100 times stronger than Sabaody Luffy, and I don't see Prime Rayleigh having a bounty greater than 2, maybe 3 billion berries. This means the gap in bounty between Luffy and Rayleigh would have been about 10 times at best. So, bounties are clearly not a one-to-one comparison. If I was going to compare it to anything, I'd say that they are actually much more comparable to spirit classes from Yu Yu Hakusho, with the characters being put in a general power tier rather than given an exact number that quantifies their strength. So, before you say it, yes, I am well aware that this has nothing to do with Sanji's healing factor and that we have gotten a bit off topic. But before we get back on topic, let me just take this moment to ask you to please like this video and please make sure your notifications are on because I have trust issues with YouTube. Generally, there's a noticeable difference in how well a video does when I ask you guys to do that than when I don't ask you. So if you could please do that, that would be a great help. Anyways, back to the topic that you're here for. While chapter 1028 would have you believe that it is Sanji's latent German DNA that is the main factor of his healing, I don't think that is the main reason. I mean, it's definitely a part, but I think a major reason for Sanji's healing factor comes from the dishes that he learned to cook while in the Kamabaka Kingdom. Let me explain. Oda doesn't give free power-ups, nor does he ignore what he previously put an emphasis on. I think that his German DNA is definitely the cause of his iron skin, but healing of this level is not something that even his siblings were capable of. I mean, After all, after getting his face caved in, Yonji had to have his head smashed back into place, whereas that would passively heal in seconds for Sanji. I think that Sanji's enhanced healing is from the 99 recipes that he acquired from fighting the Grandmasters of Newkama Kenpo. I think this is the case because these recipes are explicitly said to build your body and implied to be able to affect your mind or personality or something like that. Of course, then Sanji begins to perv out and wonder about how he could make Nami and Robin sexier, like that could happen, but you know, it's Sanji. But the important thing is that this will explain quite a lot if it is in fact true. This explains why characters like Nami and Usopp are capable of taking major hits from characters who Luffy wants to use Bound Man on. This is also a more compelling idea because not too long ago we got a bonus chapter by the author of Food Wars that tells the tale of Sanji cooking while in the Kamabaka Kingdom. So ultimately, this means that it is very plausible that in an arc or two, all of the crew could have a mild healing factor. If this does end up being the case, I would like to know if the food's effect is temporary or permanent. Though, either way, Luffy's ability to regrow teeth in 3 seconds, burn off hundreds of pounds of fat with a little jog, regrow muscle mass in a very short time, and rehydrate an entire arm with only a sip of water likely surpass the healing that Sanji possesses. Either way, depending on how this plays out, this would have a major effect on the future of One Piece. So all this said, thanks for watching, see you next time, remember to stay spectacular, JoJo, out.